Today's verse of the day comes from James 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Verse of the Day presented by Public House Media. I'm Baxter Colburn, coming to you once again from on the road. As you know, we are always moving and shaking here in the Colburn house, so sometimes doing the show in my studio is not always as easy and convenient as it sounds like. So I have made a commitment to doing this show, and I am doing everything in my power to make sure that happens on a Monday through Friday basis. So I appreciate you hanging with me through yesterday's strange voicing and sound a little bit, and today again as I'm on the road once more. But I'm thrilled that you're here, and I really want to dive right into this verse, because today's verse, as I mentioned, comes from James 1, verse 12. And I think this is so real because I've talked about this on the show before. I've gone through some trials in my life, and even these last couple of months have been really difficult for me and my family as well too. We moved to a new house and started a new job, and my wife is pregnant, so trying to change our lifestyle again to reflect what it means to be a family getting ready for a second child. And there's just been a lot of, and I'm not calling that a trial, but I'm saying that it's something that's different that we weren't used to for 2 years. So now we're getting ready for what it will mean to be parents of 2 children as opposed to 1, and all the other stuff that that hits us on a daily basis. Bills that need to get paid, and sick children, and issues at work, and coworkers, and all this other weird stuff that we might be involved in, or even things at church as well too. Everybody's got some sort of trial that they're going through, whether it be large or small. And when we can get through those trials, when we can persevere like this verse says, we will receive that crown of life from God, because he has promised it to those who love him. It's one thing to go through a difficult season or a difficult time in our life and not give God the glory when we come out the other side of it, or even to lean into God while we're in the midst of the trial. But it's another thing for when we are going through hard times to be so deeply invested in God and deeply just locked in to him, because we have to listen, and we have to discern, and we have to pray all the time, especially in hard times, because that's when God is really trying to teach us something and really trying to keep us on the right path. And some of you that maybe might understand this, and it's funny too, because my church right now is going through this because they just got a new worship pastor, and all of a sudden there's been all of these other little basically attacks coming in on different things and different scenarios that have been happening in and around the church from the spiritual side that has really kind of rattled. And my pastor and I were talking about this yesterday, and he was saying, he's like, it's amazing how much the enemy tries to deter us when something new and good comes in. That's how you know that it's going to have a powerful impact and that you're doing the right thing, is because all of a sudden you start to see all of these bad situations start to kind of creep up, because that's the devil's way of trying to derail us and not have us find that true happiness that we are seeking. And I think that applies to us in all of our areas of life. When I got this new job a couple months ago, I loved it, and it's been amazing. But then shortly thereafter, there's been some trials, and there's been some definite need to really just figure out what the heck God is trying to do in our life right now. And that's been a difficult season for us at times. But we are equipped as Christians to be able to run to our Father in heaven anytime we want to. And we will be welcomed with open arms, and God will always hear our prayers and our requests, no matter what they are, no matter how big or small, no matter how outrageous they might be at times as well too. God always hears us. And as we know, God works things together for his good and for his plan and on his time. So take this verse with you today as you go into the weekend, as you get ready to get through your Friday. Embrace your day and know that as you persevere through your trials, and after you complete that test, you've stood up to that test, you will receive that crown of life that the Lord has promised to all of those who love Him. I thank you for taking time today to listen to the verse of the day. Hopefully I'll be back in the studio come next week so we can have a little bit more normal routine here, but thank you for being here on the show today. The show is available on Apple Podcasts and wherever you find your podcast. Have a great Friday, and thanks for listening to the verse of the day.